Hey guys, welcome back to my watercolor channel, and today I paint a rose. The first thing I do is to wet a little bit of the center of the rose, and then I mix a nice color of deep yellow and some opera rose. So it really gives a nice orange which is not too bright. I want to keep the center of the rose darker, but I start with a light layer and try to spread it around in kind of like in the direction of the rose petals using a medium-sized brush. And then adding some stronger for opera rose and adding it quite carefully around the edges of the petals. And then adding slowly some more of opera rose while the center is still wet. I try to orientate myself a little bit on the reference picture to see which direction the petals are, or what kind of how they are bending, and where it's a little bit more darker and where are the lighter areas. And then I continue with the outer layer, so I don't just put water, but I have a really light layer of deep yellow with a lot of water, and then I spread the opera rose on the top, and I don't overpaint the outer layer too much because it's supposed to be relatively light. So basically the edges of the petals are a bit darker. And then I continue with another petal, also adding here more of the yellow color. And then again some more of the opera rose and a little bit of orange, and here adds a little bit of stronger of the opera rose, and it's nicely mixing with the yellow. I think it's quite important if you want to have the flower to make the flower look really nice, that it has some kind of a really good drawing beforehand and you have an idea what you want to do. But it can be sometimes when working very abstract, then a drawing is not that important, but here I added more structure and more realistic drawing. And then here adding more of the opera rose. Now it's really nicely coming out. I really like the colors, so it's a two-colored rose, so it has more of a nice warm color of the deep yellow, and then having this really eye-catching opera rose, so it fits nicely together. Proceeding basically the same way as I have before and on all of the petals, so adding a nice layer of deep yellow and then a layer of the opera rose while everything is still wet. one of the last big petals, covering as well and spreading it nicely in deep yellow, and then at the edge some more of the upper rose, and then guiding with the brush from outwards towards the center of the rose. Here I continue with watering, basically watering with the light shade of yellow the rest of the flower, and again really light shade of opera rose. Already you can see that the previous petals drying nicely, and the rose starts to look like a rose. While the rose is drying, I add some stem and leaves. I mix the green basically out of phthalo blue and some lemon yellow, and then I spread it onto the leaves and the stem. So then adding a little bit of a darker phthalo blue, and it kind of gives a nice shading from one side. Then I continue with the bigger leaf, and I kind of do it the same way, but I have the colors, the green colors have been diluted. I spray underneath the leaf water so that the paint flows down as my painting is tilted, and it gives a nice idea of abstract painting, so it's not so everything with hard edges. And then I continue of course with the rest of the flower and adding a little bit more shade to the middle, and I use as well some upper rose. Now here I have the stronger petal that it's really bending and using more of a paint, so it's not as diluted, and then spreading it to the side. But I also take off some of the paint there and add more of a stronger colors, so it really looks like those little bumps within the flower and like those little veins. But just the stronger colors really comes at the edge, which is not a perfect line, but it's more of an orange hue, and it is adding then darker upper rose. Now here a bit at the cup of the flower, and then spreading the stronger color. I added to the green a pinch of the upper rose, so it's a bit darker and grayish, and add it now to the petals, and then having a stronger green of the previous colors that I have mixed and added underneath the cup of the flower. Then I thought maybe I add some stronger color to the edges, and then adding a very light layer underneath the stronger petals. Then I continue with the background 1333, then adding some upper rose into the background, so it's kind of like really nicely giving the impression of some abstract and takes attention away from those hard edges. The same with the green, so next to the leaves I add more of the light green, and then I spray some water and it flows down nicely. The same at the top, and again using my little spray bottle. And adding here the stronger colors and a splash, the red, yellow. And a little bit more of the greenish colors, so it's this really light green and then more of the darker shade of green. after everything has dried. I wasn't sure if it needs more of a darker edge around the petals, so I mixed a little bit of the purple. And then adding more of the upper rose with stronger colors and spreading it with water, and then adding some more of the orange that I have mixed at the beginning to make the flower look much warmer, to have a really nice orange. Well, that's basically it. Thank you for watching and remember to subscribe. Bye!